Four teams went into the final day of the 6 days of Rotterdam with a chance of taking overall victory. First, Jens Maurits and Wim Strottinger. They were on 185 points and a lap down. Michael Morkov and Alex Rasmussen, 292 and still a lap down. Niki Terpstra and Iljo Keisse on 295 with one lap to make up on the overnight leaders. And Kenny De Ketele and Jasper De Buyst went into the final day as the overall leaders on 308 points, but a lap ahead. It was all a question of either gaining or not losing laps. And in the opening Madison, nothing really happened to affect the major teams. Everything was kept under control. Nobody wanted to either lose or gain a lap. It was all about gaining just a few points. The sprint came from Marcel Kaltz, but the man who actually won was Franco Marvuli. With bonus laps available for every 100 points scored, the teams were getting closer and closer at the top, so the team elimination was extremely important. It came down to a sprint in the end between Alex Rasmussen and Iljo Keisse. Rasmussen on super form. The Danes were getting closer and closer to the top of the leaderboard. In the team time trial, it looked like a record was on again. But unfortunately, Franco Marvuli pulled his pedal out on a first attempt, so they had to restart. And maybe that just took a little bit of energy out, because Christian Marze could not make the record. He tried as hard as possible. But the extra energy they'd had to use in a first run meant a second run was not quite possible to take the record of 21.258. They finished up with 21.352, but they have to be pleased. They've already broken the work record once. On the final day's racing, there's only one dirty pace race, but it didn't stop it being fast and furious. With points on offer, it was getting extremely tight at the top. Four teams were now on the same lap. Anyone could win if they got a lap in the next race. The points would be important, of course, if they finished on the same lap. Poor Barry Marcus was left hanging, forced to follow Juri Harvik when Peter Bauerlein, his dirty pace rider, had to take his bike in to have a change. Michel Vartan making sure he didn't hang back too much as he'd done in other dirty races. But in the end, Walter Huybrechts with Michael Morkov tried to get around the outside. Ron Zeilert squeezed, Michel Vartan doing a typical late charge and taking a victory with Niki Terpstra. Absolutely vital for this team. There was a nice break from the racing to honour Franco Marvuli, who retires at the end of this season. A fantastic honour guard being given by his fellow riders. The ever-popular Swiss rider was on hand with a welcoming smile and received a lovely caricature cartoon of himself. And so into the final event of this 6 days of Rotterdam, a 250 lap Madison with sprints in it as well. The top four teams were on the same lap. Time and again, Keisse and Terpstra tried to get away, had to do it all by themselves, where their three rivals worked together. It could have been that Keisse and Terpstra left all their energy on the track. They did it again and again and again, and when it came down to the sprints, it looked like the Danes who had some advantage, getting faster and faster. It still looked like it might come down to a victory on points alone with four teams on the same lap. But Niki Terpstra and Iljo Keisse had other ideas. Terpstra shot off the front. Iljo Keisse was waiting to be picked up, and they rode into the distance. They rode so fast that nobody could catch them, and they gained a lap, using every inch of the track to their advantage. Look at the victory salute of Iljo Keisse as he comes over the line with just 9 laps to go. They knew they had won and retained their title. There was no room to come back.
Iljo Keisse and Niki Terpstra, congratulations. Was it best to go for the lap? Was that the best way to win, Iljo?
Yeah, the last 2 days we were a little bit behind with the points, and whatever we did, we didn't really come close. So our tactic was to go for a late attack in the final, all or nothing, and yeah, it worked out really well. So we're very happy with this win.
Niki, just how hard were these last 6 days?
Especially the final was really hard, but the crowd was magnificent today, so thanks for that, and I'm really happy.
Exactly. Iljo, just how important was the crowd support this week?
Yeah, I'm really sensitive for the crowd, for their reactions. I also do everything I can to, even though it's very hard, to entertain the crowd. And then when they react, when they give the full support, it gives me wings, and I think it's the same for Niki. When you have the support of the crowd, you can do always a little bit more.
Niki, how prestigious is it to come back and repeat in the Rotterdam 6-day?
Yeah, I really wanted to defend my title, and of course I'm happy we did it, and now Iljo had won 4 times, me 2 times, so we're both really satisfied.
It seemed like the entire Dutch press contingent was celebrating the victory of Terpstra and Keisse. They retained their title by taking a lap in the final event. Disappointment for De Ketele and De Buyst, and Morkov and Rasmussen, but worthy winners, Terpstra and Keisse. A great pairing, a classic pairing in a classic race, the 6 days of Rotterdam.